Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS, with your host, Bob Pace. For a lot of you, you've experienced CPS, but some of you that haven't, you probably don't even know what CPS is, or you just found out the hard way, a knock on the door, or you encountered a social worker, or encountered a social worker and the police with the social worker. Very intimidating. What I call the CPS stands for is a Child Protection Systems. They're found in every county in every state. To make it simple, there's so many different names and acronyms for the child protection system. So make it simple, anything that deals with the protection of our children from neglect or abuse and family reunification is the government agency that I'm talking about. Now, whether it's called the Department of Children and Family Services or the Department of Children's Services or the Cabinet or the Child Protection Services, it's all the same. So to make it simple, I call it CPS short. Now, this government entity was created in 1962. An act of Congress mandated that social service create a group of social workers that are protect our children from abuse or neglect. Now, neglect can be defined as leaving a child unsupervised, a young child unsupervised, not feeding the child, not concerned about the child's well being if you're doing drugs or smoking or even drinking. Children are a very precious thing. They're a gift from God that we're able to have children. And I know all his mothers and fathers that come into my live stream here are really thinking about that. What am I going to do when I face reality that my children now, my family has been disrupted? So many of you get a knock at the door and not realizing you gladly open the door. I don't know if people are just naive or something, but I know in our early ages that we're talk about not allowing strangers into our home. And so when someone knocks at the door and you don't know who it is, you should not open the door. We live in a world that's too sad. There's too many things going on. There's trafficking happening all the time, meaning that people are taken, not only young children, but also adults. Also, if you think of your home as your castle and your door is your drawbridge, once the drawbridge is up, your door is closed. An easy way to allow people in your home is know who they are. And you can tell all your friends and associates that to get entrance to a home, you have a special knock or a special ring. It's like a code. I don't know if you all know the story of Aladdin. But anyway, he wanted to open, he said, "Open sesame." You know, that was the code to open up the door. Because what's happened, and I'm really sad to say, is that the child protection system has really become corrupt. 50% of the CPS entities out there are corrupt. Now, not only I deal with CPS entities in each of the 50 states, it's a worldwide epidemic. The child protection system is worldwide. And I have right now a total of 25 countries, including the US. And all 50 states have talked to me either by texting or calling in. I've even heard from far remote countries. They do have a problem. And I'm so thrilled to have everybody invited into my live stream. It's an open live stream for people that want to come and get help with combating CPS. If you're a victim, whether you're a victim or not, or could be a victim, it's very informative in here. Now, what I'm doing is educating you about CPS. You see, no one should fight CPS alone. They're very corrupt and they will hurt you and they don't care. I'm sorry to say that to CPS because when I was involved, I believed in our government. But our government is such struggling right now, all the time. We have the Department of Government Efficiency, shortened DOGE, that's investigating all our government entity, including social services and the child protection system. There's too much government waste going on. People getting money that don't even work. People that get money that don't even qualify to get money. It's such an abuse that every 6 months the government runs out of money to pay our things. But you come in here and you want to understand what the CPS entity is. And I can share that with you. Now, I've been fighting CPS for 25 years, since 2010, when I started getting anonymous phone calls. Well, actually, not anonymous. Anonymous phone calls are going into CPS, and they in turn were giving me calls. It started out shortly after I lost my job in 2010. I had lost my forever job through no fault of my own. I, you see, at that time in 2010, 2007, our banks were going bad. We're giving out too many predatory loans. These are loans that people didn't really qualify, but because the lenders wanted to get a bonus, they would raise your income or make you qualify. But what had happened to me is unbeknownst, there was several family members that are taking advantage of me not working. Now, I did not stop working because I did not want to work. I made all the promises to my owner, but he couldn't keep our doors open because the state of California was going bankrupt. And they needed access to funds that were funded for construction projects in the state of California, something called Caltrans. Now, when you do work with state of California's public funds, you do a thing called a bidding process, and you bid on projects, and they award you the projects. And they're not supposed to touch those funds because those are public funds. But the governor of the state at that time, I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, saw that he was really worried about going bankrupt, so he used the funds that were earmarked for construction projects by writing IOUs. Now, I thought about going to the bank and get a credit line, but it didn't work. The banks were totally terrified about giving any kind of loans. So my owner couldn't keep the doors open because he needed income for all the employees and stuff because I was a general contractor. That means I was doing projects involving heavy highway and civil engineering projects throughout the state of California. That was my current job. I've been doing that for a good 45 years. Well, no, I shouldn't say that long. Probably, boy. let's say 30 years. It's my life stay. It's how I got my forever home and how I took care of my family. I'm a loving father and a husband with 6 children I've helped raised. They're successful today, all 6 of them. Sad that one of them was taken from us by the CPS. She was 12 at the time, and she was confused, very confused child. And she was encouraged by the CPS to divorce her mom and father. Now, her 2 brothers didn't think that way. They saw through the CPS workers. They knew, even though they weren't told what was going on. My 9-year-old son and 15-year-old son at the time, or 14-year-old son at the time, could see it out. Could see it out. They could see the writing on the walls. They could see the writing on the walls. Hello, Rosa Kraut. Glad to meet you. Um, I have a way of doing, if you're going to text a message to me, please show me your name, which you've done, but also where you're located. And if you're outside of the United States, put the country. The banner's up in the wall right there. Now, you've come to me because you found one of my 7 rooms on Facebook, and I have a room on YouTube. There's a room on YouTube and 7 on Facebook, and they all link you into this room, which is a room that I use a software application called SteamYard. Now, SteamYard uses YouTube to transmit. And I'm glad you did because you're scared. You're dealing with an entity that is corrupt 50% of the time. Now, I have 43 years of marriage experiences. I'm a loving and caring man and a father and a friend. I have 61 years of life skills, or I've been working for 61 years. That's a long time. If you think about it, I started at age 15 in 1964. I got my first job then because I wanted to have pets. In order to have pets, I needed to have money to feed my pets. I'm proud of my father and mother. They're good parents. They had a loving home. And back then, there was no CPS. So any squabbles in the home was terrible. I don't know. There's a lot of societies where it's really bad, where the father and mother can be very abusive. We need CPS because our children need to be protected. Protecting our children has been going on for 400 years in the United States. There are cases of child abuse and neglect, and I was talking about neglect, like the basics of having food and clothing and shelter and education and medical and transportation and a job. Those are what social services is supposed to do. And child protection system is a part of social services. It's a separate entity, but it's grown really big since 64 to be very wealthy. It's $1 trillion business. You heard me right, $1 trillion. It's like people just don't know what $1 trillion is. We have Elon Musk on the verge of being the first trillionaire. The Divinity, the software makers of video cards and so forth, is $1 trillion business. There are others out there. But when I lost my job through no fault of my own, I found it at the age of 60, it was hard to find work because our society is based on you work from the time you say at 18 or 25, depending if you go to college or not, until your age 65. That seems to be the retirement era. You work towards that. You buy a home and you pay a mortgage on your home, and hopefully 30 years it's paid off for. So then you have something to live in your later lives, in your golden years. Well, I had done the similar things, but I was not prepared for the child protection system. That's what a lot of you are feeling right now is how are you prepared? How are you prepared? Now, besides texting me a message here, you can also be a guest on my live stream. I have a banner up there that shows you how. And good morning, Christina Reynoso, and thank you for the thumbs up. I have regular people that come in this room. I have 30 to 50 people I call family. I think all of you are like a family here because a lot of you are trying to resolve an issue that you're not prepared for. You don't have funds. One of the most common things you all have in here, it's limited sources of income. And that is the that is the problem in CPS because they're taking advantage of low income people. So you know you can't afford an attorney. And that is the key to getting out of this mess with CPS. They've gone so strong. In 1997, there was an incentive law passed that the government would reward the child protection system $35,000 for every child that gets adopted into foster care. When a child is taken, $20,000 a month is paid to that child protection system in that county. It comes from the state. The state gets its money from the federal government. Well, actually, the money then goes to the county. But the problem is that there's no track of the money. There's no accountability. For instance, there's no reports they have to produce of what they spent the money on. In fact, in Richmond, Kentucky, there's an investigation going on about where $1 million went to. Now they found 600,000 of it taken by a social worker. A social worker has embezzled the fundings. There's so much corruption in the child protection system that by talking to 2,950 some people in all 50 states and around the world, that there is a corrupt agency that are only interested in money. That's all they are, is interested in money. And Christina Reynosa, it is a good morning. And I did not know, Christina, that you had Apache blood in you. It's like she has 640 acres about Apache in Spanish. Okay. Anyway, for those that don't know Christina Reynosa, she's been on my show forever. She is on my show to help others. She's helped so many people by having drafts written up with court cases. She's really good at what she does. She's helped me out immensely, and I thank her for it. She's helped out other people. She wants to help other people. I have Christine Reynosa from Nevada. I have Dorothy Cook from North Carolina, and Betty Joe from Montana. These three women have been nothing more than so helpful to so many people on my show. I have regular people that call in all the time. I have Cruella from Oxnard, California. And I have Tony the Tiger, but she also has another name. I think it's John something. Anyway, that's Cassandra. She's from Otsego County in New York. There's Rocky from New York that has her brother going through a horrible time in Virginia. There's David Helago from Santa Maria that right now has Vincent Davis as his attorney. And it's a hard case. It's a hard case because you got a corrupt Santa Maria Police Department in a corrupt county of Santa Barbara in California. Now, as I was telling you earlier, when I lost my job through no fault of my own, I was taken advantage of. You see, that's what CPS does. It attacks people that are down and out. Now, when you lose a job, it's a tragic thing. It's a hard thing when you no longer can provide for your family. You have to tell your family, well, we're going to have to do something. And sure enough, I was out determined to get a job. And since 2010, I've had several jobs. But old age is something that works against you. They tell you they don't want old people working. They're a liability to the company. Why? Well, the medical costs are so high. I think the insurance companies bill the medical company, bill the working companies based on the ages of their employees. So if they have everybody at age 30, their insurance rates are going to be cheaper. But once they have people in their 50s and 60s and even 70s, the rates go up. And so it's affordability. It's hard for the company because they're not making profit. See, companies are really structured on making a profit. And the guy that makes the profit is the CEO. It isn't the hardworking individual. I know that. I was at the oars at one company. And what I mean by oars is that I was like feeling like I was on a ship that I was constantly at the oars, manning it while they're out there doing whatever they're doing. And it was going nowhere. Going nowhere. Some people are fortunate to find jobs. Some people are fortunate that can become rich and so forth. A lot of them have connections from family and relatives. A lot of them fall into it. A lot of them are brilliant. We have brilliant minds out there, but nothing will prepare you for CPS. Now, if you're a very wealthy person, let's say Elon Musk, well, if somebody accuses him of not taking care of his son, and he was praising his son quite a lot at the White House. I know that CPS won't attack him, not because, yeah, maybe probably because of who he is, but he has the wealth, he could hire an attorney. And see, that's the problem that everybody's facing. That is the key weakness in your case, is having that right attorney. That's my first rule. You need an attorney to win your case, to fight CPS. And it is hard to phantom or put together the funds for that attorney. They start off the retainer of $5,000, but then it grows. Like my case is over $350,000 to get my children back when they were stolen from me. Now I've helped raise 6 children. 3 of them were not involved in CPS. In a way, they kind of were involved because they heard rumors and they distanced themselves from mother and father. It's sad that 3 of our children distanced themselves. Our oldest is 44, our youngest now is 20 years old. But being involved in CPS is a bad stigma. It works against you trying to get a job. It works against you trying to get a job. CPS is bad. 50% of them bad. Now, I've had people from Indonesia and Bangladesh and India text me what's going on in their case. I've also heard from the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia, from Iraq and Libya. Then going over to the continent of Africa, I've heard from Liberia to Sudan to Republic of Congo to Rwanda and Mozambique, and then the country of South Africa and its provinces. Then up to Europe has been the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales. Then it's been Denmark and Sweden. All these people have texted into me or called me to talk about their CPS case. Across the pond to North America has been Canada and its provinces. And they have a diversity like we do. In the United States, all 50 states have called in or texted, including the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. That's not a state. But they too have problems. Then south of the border has been Mexico. And then in Central America, further south, has been Belize. Then down to South America, north of Brazil, on the east coast is Grenada. Then across the South Pacific has been New Zealand, and the land down under Australia and states. All these 25 countries and 50 states make up the 2,950 some people I've talked to. And they all have it in common. They've encountered a rogue CPS entity and has taken away their children. Now, make sure if you want to be a part of this live stream to be a guest. And to be a guest, you just send me an email. Make sure to pick one of my 14 live streams. I'm on Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and on the weekends at 8 a.m. And I'm on every night of the week, 7 p.m. Those times I'm giving to you are the West Coast times, Pacific Standard Time. If you're on the Mountain Time, you're an hour ahead of me. In Texas, you're 2 hours ahead of me. In Ohio, you're 3 hours ahead of me. And if you're over in the United Kingdom, you're 8 hours. In Europe, you're 9 hours. Africa, you're 9 hours. In the Mediterranean, you're 10 hours. Now, the other way, if you're in Hawaii, you're 3 hours behind us, Hawaiian time. And if you're in the Philippines or Australia, you're 6 hours behind me the next day. But wherever you're from, you all have come in here and tried to deal with this CPS case of yours. You're searching, you're lost, and I want to help you. And all you have to do is text me a message or be a guest on my shows. You can talk about your guest. Talk about your show. Now, this Friday, which is a couple days, I have a family commitment, so I will not be on at 7 p.m. I'll be on at 4 p.m. That's 4 p.m., not 7, this Friday. Now, I've been doing this live stream now for over 25 months. That's over 2 years. So I've gathered a lot of information that I can share with you, can help you out with your case. So many of you reached in there with medical trafficking or other issues that are able to work through you. I have a great analytical mind. I can problem solve, and I do care. I'm on here to help others not experience what I experience. And Rosalind, I still don't know where you're from, but it'd be nice if you tell me where you're from. And if any of you other people out there want to talk, please send me a text message or you can call in. Now, right now, I have a banner up that talks about how to be a guest. I can take up 9 of you to be a guest. That's how much room I have here. I can be 9 of you to take a guest. And all you have to do to be a guest, all you have to do is to send me an email to bpace@vincentwdavis.com and pick one of my 14 shows. It's easy just to say you want to be on my Sunday morning show or my Friday night show or my Wednesday morning show or Monday night show. You just pick either night or morning. Make sure you list your name, your phone number, and your email. And then I will forward that on to Grace, my show producer, who will set you up as a guest. The rules are simple. We respect one another. We're not here to talk about politics. We need to talk about CPS. Now, there's no profanity on the show, and we do not eat or smoke on the show. We do not use the names of children or judges or social workers. You just say social worker or judge, or you just say your young child or older child, girl or boy, whatever. But we don't use the names. And I want you to be able to help one another, but you also want to help out the room. This room, we want to help one another. We all care. The people that come in here care about one another. It's really amazing me that anybody that has CPS are really concerned because they're dealing with an entity that's gone bad, that's gone rogue. Okay. Christina has a message here. Um, oh, I forgot to put my phone number up. Sorry about that. There's my phone number. You can call me at 626-698-0990. Now, Christina's message is I'm exhausted yesterday. I can imagine. I go through those cycles all the time. It's harder in life. It really is harder, you know. Now, you picked up my brother who's struggling. He's a big guy who told the cops 2 times in a day, Daddy hurt him. The hate towards me from my children is from being ignored. This is why I continue to accomplish what I started. I'm so sorry your children hate you so much, Christina. Then the other one who was abused by adopters, he punched me 8 times in the face 5 days ago. Christina, why are you still going through all this trauma? That is horrible, Christina. That's horrible. Fighting with CPS is really hard. As I've been telling you, that a lot of you are having those issues, but all you have to do is ask me a question or call and tell me what you need to know. Now I have another number there, 888-888-6582. And that number is a number that directly connects to my office. That's where you can reach Mr. Davis, who's my attorney. Now, something about Mr. Davis. He's a hardworking man who gives so much of his time to people. He once was a foster child himself, so he knows what the foster system's like. He is a licensed professional scholared attorney in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are the 3 areas of law that you're going to deal with CPS. He's been fighting CPS now for 40 years. That's a long time. 40 years is a long time. He's gotten back thousands of children. So he's one of the top attorneys in the country. He's also a trial attorney. He can do civil lawsuits when your case is over with for the wrongdoings if they violated your constitution rights or your civil rights. Now, Vincent, besides being his area of focus, he's, as I said, he is also a trial lawyer. That means he represents client in the trial stages of legal case, which includes civil and criminal matters. So if you have a CPS, see, the thing is, there's 2 kinds of cases with the CPS. There's ones that are issued by the CPS. And then there's the other one where it's issued by the prosecutor of that city that's trying to prosecute you for a criminal matter. He can defend you. The civil, and criminal. Civil is when you deal with matters like a lawsuit. Criminal is when they had done something wrong. Now, you can be criminally charged for neglect and abuse. He's very good at cross-examining witness. I saw him perform. He caught my attorney, excuse me, he caught my social workers in committing perjury. That's what opened up where she retaliated and had her daughter want to go through adoption and everything else. Now, in criminal matters, you have what's called a jury trial. But in CPS matters, there's no jury trial. There is some talk of it in Texas. I've yet to figure it out. But it should be. Child protection matters should be done by a jury. And I don't think they do so because it's too lengthy of a process and maybe CPS couldn't control it. In non-jury trials, that's where you have the judge as the referee and the person that decides what happens to your child. So they sometimes revert to the bench. You can waive a jury trial and have the judge make the decision. My experience in my life is never waive a jury trial. If you're not guilty, hang on to the end. They're going to try to compromise you and try to sell your soul to the devil. It's sad, but the prosecution people are corrupt as well as the police and the child protection systems. They're all corrupt. I know firsthand how corrupt they are. In fact, the other day I was seeing my attorney that handled my criminal matter. At the time, I was not involved with Mr. Davis. At first, I was trying to let the court appointed attorney defend me in my CPS matter. It was a joke. Court appointed attorneys do not have the experience, expertise in child protection system matters. They really don't know. And they don't want to fight because they're paid by the CPS. They're hired by the CPS. They work for the CPS. They don't work for you. But it's hard. When you are suddenly invaded with your privacy and you suddenly deal with a government entity, they are strong armed. They will get the help of the police to help them do what they're doing. Now, I've studied it. The police are only supposed to protect the social workers. They're not supposed to sit there and try to do something. They're very intimidating, and it's a thankless job. Being a policeman is not a really job that's much appreciated or understood. There are bad policemen in the police force. I agree. Because, like with people, there are bad people, and they're found in all walks of life. And you're now faced with that. You're faced with that. So, anyway, my attorney, Vincent W. Davis, is a trial attorney. He can do civil rights lawsuits and he can do criminal lawsuits. So he's trained in all three areas. And he could be getting a lot of money. He could be $1,000 an hour attorney. Right now, typically he's a $500 an hour attorney, and his retainer for LA County in California is at $5,000 starting out. But that is all an estimate because the complexity of your case or the case been going on for a long period of time will reflect the price. Will reflect the price. It's very expensive to hire an attorney. That's why we should get legal insurance. There is legal insurance involved. I mean, available. You just have to search for it. It's a yearly premium that you pay monthly on. And I got one quote that was $365 a day, $365 a year. So that's something that you want to look for because they'll provide the funds for that attorney to defend you, especially if you have a DUI or your children has a DUI. You want to get that legal insurance because you need to get the best attorney. Using a court-appointed attorney in CPS matters is wasteful and it will hurt you. It really will hurt you. Now, my show is coming close to an end here. I have 10:51. It ends at 11 o'clock. But people will come and go in here, and so far no one's asked any questions or have anything they want to ask me about. But I'm here. I'm here twice a day, 7 days a week. I'm here for you to help out you. And I am able to help out people. I have an understanding. I've been educated to what CPS is about and how corrupt they are. I know firsthand experience because I too was involved. Now, early part of the show, I was talking about reporters. Reporters are the people that will call in to CPS that there's something neglect or abuse. Now, I mentioned neglect earlier of some of the things that they're neglected about. Abuse is where a physical harm is done to a child or emotional harm is done to a child. Sexual trafficking is bad. That is abuse. That is abuse. There's emotional abuse where a child is constantly reprimanded all the time. Mm. But I do have to wind down my show. It's always a pleasure to be here for you. Um, I try to create an idea of what you're going to go through. It's best if you ask me questions or be a guest on my show. It's easier for me to respond or look up what I need to look up. Now, what you want to get is that you want to get a trial attorney. The reason why I'm saying that is that they will go into your trial, they'll go into your courtroom, and they'll be able to fight and prepare and present cases, argue motions, examine witnesses, make closing remarks. So a trial attorney is what you're looking for when you want to research on the internet. Now I have 5 rules. I talked to them so many times in so many live streams. You can find them. One is you need to get a trial attorney. D-E-N. Now we do need to end the show because it's 11 o'clock. So I want to thank y'all for listening and being a part of my show. God bless you. And please join me tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget this Friday, I'll be on at 4 p.m. earlier. So God bless y'all. And thank you for listening. Do not give up on your family or your children. Come here first, but don't quit on them. They need you. You got to work with them. You got to do what you can. Now, there'll be a brief video at the conclusion of my live stream. Please watch it. And then I'll see you tonight. I do want to thank Christina Reynoso. I hope that things get better for her. I keep praying. You're a good person, Christina. And Rosenkraut, it's nice to meet you, but I have no idea where you're from or what concerns you have. I hope you rejoin me again. And all the others out there, I want to thank you. So, good afternoon, and I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last